You are not losing because you are weak. You are losing because someone else is playing a deeper game than you are. Right now, as you listen to this, someone is influencing your decisions without raising their voice. They are guiding your choices without giving direct orders. They are pulling strings you do not even see. And the most dangerous part is this: manipulation does not feel like force. It feels like your own idea. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated swordsman of Japan, walked through a world far more brutal than ours, a world where mistakes meant death. He survived not because he was the strongest, but because he was impossible to control. His enemies could not read him, could not bait him, could not steer him. That same method can make you immune today. This is not about becoming paranoid. This is about becoming untouchable. Musashi said that success isn't found on just one route. Many can get you there. Most people only see what is directly in front of them. Manipulators see the all routes. So let us begin. The first layer of manipulation is emotional hijacking. Every manipulator starts in the same place: your emotions, anger, guilt, fear, urgency, shame, desire. When your emotions spike, your thinking collapses. Your reactions become predictable. This is why arguments escalate. This is why pressure works. This is why you say yes to things you regret later. Musashi refused this weakness. In his duels, opponents screamed insults. They mocked his appearance. They questioned his honor. He did not respond. Not because he was calm by nature, but because calm was a weapon. He understood a brutal truth: whoever controls emotion controls outcome. Think of the Dark Knight. The Joker never beats people physically first. He destabilizes them. He makes them emotional. Once they react, they are already defeated. Musashi watched emotion like a weather pattern. He could see when an opponent was rushing, when fear tightened their grip, when anger made their strikes sloppy. In modern life, manipulation often announces itself as a feeling, a sudden urge to defend yourself, a pressure to explain, a need to please, a spike of anxiety when someone frames a situation as urgent. That feeling is your early warning system. The rule is simple: do not move when emotion spikes. Pause, breathe, observe. When you do not react the way they expect, the manipulator loses footing. They escalate, they reveal themselves, or they retreat. A man in a negotiation once tried to rush me by saying, "We need an answer now, or the deal is gone." Old me would have panicked. Instead, I said, "If it disappears, it was not solid." Silence followed. The pressure vanished. The deadline was fake. Emotional control does not make you passive. It makes you unreadable. The second layer is breaking predictable patterns. Manipulation feeds on scripts, invisible ones. Scripts written long before the conversation even begins. You complain and they reassure, positioning themselves as the authority. You hesitate and they push, pretending it is for your own good. You feel guilty and they exploit it, slowly tightening the leash. Most people never question these patterns. They live inside them like fish in water, unaware they are being guided. Their reactions are automatic, reliable, easy to predict. Musashi refused to be predictable. While other swordsmen obeyed ritual, timing, and honor-bound sequences, Musashi attacked when attacks were not supposed to happen. He arrived early. He arrived late. He struck from angles that felt wrong to traditional warriors. He broke form. He disrupted rhythm. His opponents trained their entire lives for one kind of fight, and he denied them that fight completely. He wrote that victory comes from using timing the enemy does not expect. Not faster timing, not stronger timing, unexpected timing. Manipulators survive on your automatic responses. They offer false choices that trap you either way. They ask questions designed to corner you emotionally. They frame situations where your most polite, reasonable reaction quietly benefits them. Pattern immunity is born the moment you stop playing your assigned role. When given two options, reject both and create a third. When pressured for an answer, slow the moment and ask a question instead. When baited into defending yourself, agree calmly and remove the fuel. I once watched a senior manager dominate meetings by criticizing work minutes before deadlines. Everyone panicked. Everyone rushed to justify themselves. He fed on that chaos. One day, a colleague responded differently. She said, "You may be right. Which specific part concerns you?" Then she stayed silent. He had nothing. No follow-up. No substance. The spell broke instantly. This is why the most powerful characters in anime and film terrify villains. Think of Lelouch in Code Geass. He wins not by strength, but by refusing the script. He moves sideways while everyone expects forward. When you break the script, the manipulator must improvise, and that is where they collapse. Most of them only know one playbook. Take that away, and they are exposed. The third layer is controlling the environment. Manipulation does not survive everywhere. It needs specific conditions to breathe. Isolation, time pressure, information imbalance. Take those away, and the tactics collapse. Musashi never fought only the man standing in front of him. He fought the terrain beneath their feet, the sun in their eyes, the timing of the encounter, the psychological environment wrapping around the duel before the first strike was ever thrown. He chose locations that crushed his opponent's advantages. He placed the sun behind his back so the enemy squinted and hesitated. He dragged long-bladed fighters into narrow spaces where wide swings became useless. He understood that if the environment favors you, the fight is already tilted. Most people make the same mistake in modern life. They try to resist manipulation while standing inside hostile conditions. Rushed meetings, private conversations, emotional pressure, that is already a loss. Control the conditions, and you control the outcome. If a conversation matters, choose the location instead of accepting theirs. If a decision matters, slow the timeline and refuse artificial urgency. If the stakes are high, demand information symmetry before speaking. In business, manipulation hides in shadows, side conversations, vague language, verbal promises that leave no trace. One man I worked with controlled outcomes by speaking to people individually, shaping stories differently for each listener. Instead of confronting him directly, we changed the structure, written agendas, shared documents, public decision points. His power vanished overnight. Environment shapes behavior more than intention ever will. If someone insists on urgency, ask why the rush exists. If someone avoids documentation, pay attention. If someone isolates you, reconnect externally and widen the circle. You do not need to fight manipulation head-on. That is exhausting. You simply remove the soil it grows in. When the environment changes, manipulation starves and dies on its own. The final layer is strategic counterpositioning. Musashi's most famous duel was not won by speed, strength, or technique alone. It was decided long before steel ever moved. The outcome was shaped in the moments most people ignore. Sasaki Kojiro had every visible advantage. He was faster, taller, trained with a longer blade that dominated reach. On paper, Musashi should have lost. That is what Kojiro believed. That belief was the trap. Musashi arrived late, not out of arrogance or disrespect, but precision. Kojiro stood waiting in the sun, heat pressing down, irritation rising, muscles tightening with wasted readiness. Anger crept in, focus leaked out. During the boat ride, Musashi calmly carved a wooden sword from an oar, shaping it slightly longer than Kojiro's famous steel blade. That detail matters. When Musashi stepped onto the island, the sun was behind him. Kojiro squinted. His timing was off. His emotions were already compromised. By the time they faced each other, Kojiro was fighting not just a man, but frustration, fatigue, and broken expectations. The duel ended in a single strike. This was not cruelty. This was strategy at its highest level. Strategic immunity to manipulation works the same way. You stop reacting in the moment and start positioning in advance. You ask hard questions early. What do they want? How do they plan to get it? What assumptions are they making about my behavior? Then you change the conditions before pressure ever arrives. Expose tactics by making them visible to others. Redirect outcomes by preparing alternatives they did not account for. Refuse to play the game they designed and offer a different board entirely. This is not about becoming manipulative yourself. It is about refusing to be naive in a world that preys on predictability. In real life, this means walking into negotiations with options already prepared, bringing neutral third parties when emotions are involved, documenting interactions so stories cannot shift later, setting boundaries before urgency appears, not after. Think of Tyson Fury before a fight. The jokes, the delays, the unpredictability. None of it is random. It is positioning. His opponents enter the ring already unsettled. Musashi never reacted to the battlefield, he arranged it, and that is why he was undefeated. Why this makes you dangerous in the best way. When you master these layers, something changes. People stop pushing you, pressure loses its grip. Manipulators move on, not because you are aggressive, but because you are costly to manipulate. You become calm when others rush. You ask when others react. You prepare when others improvise. This is the red pill most people avoid. Power is not loud. It is controlled. Musashi wrote that strategy is not about defeating others, but about defeating confusion. Once you see the game, you cannot unsee it. And once you stop reacting, the game loses power over you. This is how you become immune, not hardened, not cold, but awake. A man who cannot be emotionally moved, predictably steered, or environmentally trapped is free. And free men are terrifying to those who rely on control. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.